importantly as well, look at where Future is on these charts. He is going off right now. Off, absolutely off. 8,261 player damage. That's insane. And it's all come from those early Gold Fury fights and the aggression on the left-hand side of the map from Paradigm that hasn't been going their way.
We're going to see KG able to take that tier 1 tower off of Keyzao finally. But player damage has to be the story right now. Kronos and Hades doing tons of it thus far.
Yeah, but Hades is going to scale off. Look at KG. KG takes no damage whatsoever at this point in time. Watson and Zenborn obviously looking to try and rotate over. Nice onto that Soul Eater as well, so she's starting to hit a big spike in her build. Interesting to see if she does go the Executioner or the RC here. Reasoning to go behind the RC is it's cheap and it's effective, right, for what you're getting. But she doesn't benefit from the burst heal from the life. So look at the left-hand side.
We're going to see that big snipe there with the World Weaver from Neath. Future able to push in on that tier 1. He might be able to finally take it down. Scylla is going to stand tall on that, and she's going to pop the crush down as Snaz comes in to help. And they're going to back off. They're going to let the tier 1 go as they have no idea where the rest of Mortality is as they rotate onto Gold Fury.
Yeah, already starting that one up. Really nice rotations coming through and around from Mortality. They get the kill and immediately on towards the objective. Look at Watson, though. He initiates Hydra. Snaz, they're in trouble. Look at the damage the Bludgeon's doing right now to Snaz. He's going to be super careful. Hydra drops the wall behind him. Keyzao looking for an initiate. Blink in. Gets a nice silence. He's got the Pillar of Agony. This is in trouble. Snaz has got a shield. He lives. He lives for now. He's still looking to get out of here. Hydra's dead, though. Synchronization is going to be finding that one off. KG doesn't find a pluck, doesn't find any picks, and it is going to be a successful fight for Mortality. Dobson's on the wrong side of that fight, gets himself out.
Let's look at Zenborn here as he's going to go back with the blink, and Scylla's going to pop the little monster, but she's going to lose a lot of health. She's not going to get knocked up. She is going to just escape, barely with her life, as Duran puts the damage on top of Zenborn, and there's the Geb shield. Is he going to get away? Not likely with Snaz in chase, and he's going to go down.
Yeah, a lot of over-aggression there, but what it has done is it's brought a lot of time on towards this Gold Fury. Going to successfully clean that one up. Mortality right now, look at the World Weaver charge. Keyzao looking to go over the wall, gets out successfully, but now look at the stop time, looking for picks. Snacks was picked off by Future, able to disengage successfully though, and they'll head back to base with a handy 6 gold in their pocket as they've picked up all tier 1 towers, and I believe that was this.
We're going to see the Ring of Spears on Future right now as he is deleted by Duran and Snaz. We're going to see Eagle Rally from Watson with the World Weaver going on to Snaz as Watson chases him down, but he's going to rotate on now by Dobson. The crush is going to hit him, but not for very much.
Great banish. That was fantastic to get his teammate out from the side of Geron. He is doing work right now. Zamborn wanted to go really, really deep, looking for the kill, obviously, on a Dobson. And with the Hunter there, Geron gonna save out Dobson a little bit earlier. Obviously, forfeiting the Gold Fury for 1 kill. You're gonna take that wherever you can, obviously. But, hey, it's something to start us off with. Interesting to note where the map goes through from here, because there's only 1 tower down in favor of Paradigm. They're losing the objective game quite heavily. They can't successfully push up even further on that right-hand side. Hades can. Hercules, he's a lot more risky. He can't so much do that. They want to group because they've got that huge, beefy front line, but they also want to let their let their carries get that solo farm that they need to get to those item spikes.
And as we look at the graphs once again, we're going to see Mortality bringing themselves back to that 4,500, 4,900 gold difference where they were sitting earlier in the game and kind of let Paradigm get ahead of them. Again, and they went down to that only a 3,000 difference. So they've managed to bring themselves back up to the same level they were for the rest of the game. But that only goes so far until everyone hits level 20, and we're nearing that mark.
Yeah, have a look at the right-hand side of the map right now because Keyzao was putting a lot of pressure on towards KG, trying to force him out. He's got Mystical Mail, he's got Stoner Gaia online right now, and he is incredibly tanky. He is the beefiest member on the map by far. But also have a look at the build route that has been coming through from the side of Keyzao. Went double stacking. He was winning that lane quite hard, got the gold for those items online early, and that's the crucial part. If he doesn't get that early pressure on the right-hand side of the map, he cannot get those 2 items online and be as huge as he is. He's going to be able to pick up Ethereal Staff, though, and Breastplate of Valor. He has a lot of damage and a lot of innate power coming through from his kit right now, but still being incredibly tanky.
But no pen. Something to note, he is up against KG right now, who has that Stone of Gaia. You have the Heart Ward coming out of Odin, and then you have the Aura item coming out of Ymir. I mean, there's a lot of magic protection on that team right now, and KG has not even began to build, or sorry, Kizao has not even began to build into a Spear Magus yet. Looks like he is working towards a Gem of Isolation. Or Ethereal, yeah. Maybe
yeah,
Ethereal.
It'd be Ethereal.
Yeah, okay. With the Warlock stash, that makes sense.
No, yeah, actually, Gem of Isolation makes a lot more sense, I think, because they really want to lock down, but the problem, it both kind of makes sense here. Ethereal gives more power, and I feel like it's probably the better pickup, because look at who he's trying to target. He's going after Dobson, he's going after Geron. Both of their ultimates get them out so easily, so Gem of Isolation kind of doesn't make a lot of sense on that note. But if he does go for the Ethereal stuff, it's a little bit more damage, and it is obviously the tankiness as well. Ethereal does provide, Gem of Isolation does provide some tankiness, but it's kind of not as strong as Ethereal. Oh my god, look at Geron on the left-hand side.
To miss that kill over there, I didn't even see that happening as we were talking about Kizao. Geron able to shut down Future once again. They have targeted Chronos.
Oh, right-hand side, though. Look at Kizao. He's getting absolutely dumpstered on the bottom. Is doing a lot. Snaz with the blinking. He's got the spear. So Ring of Spears. He's going to get the root, the separate off. But now the Eagles rally on towards the backline. KG's got to turn around here. He's still trying to chase out Kizao. But in the meantime, look at Watson's damage. The Crush is doing a little bit, but it's nowhere near enough. Great Cataclysm to try and get Kizao out. Jeroen is here, though, now. Watson manages to pick up Dobson, so he's doing his job. Syncrotion. He is doing a lot of damage for the side of Mortality and going to be able to buy them a little bit more time, but it's going to be Zamborn that's the next one focused out, and this is the team comp starting to come online from the side of Paradigm, and Watson's in trouble on the backside of the fight. This is a really, really big call to go for this Fire Giant, and it's because Paradigm are Mortality are so split.
It's going to be interesting to see how Watson responds to this. Snaz trying to zone him out, but I think Watson's going to go for this Syncrotion, putting the pot shots onto Hydra as Hydra Frost Press and Watson right in the middle, and they're going to have to disengage from the Fire Giant. He is disengaged from, he's going to heal back to full health. Watson has done his job.
Future is coming on the backside. He's finally joined this fight, and Paradigm, they made the call to go for the Fire Giant. They probably should have gone for towers, and they're paying for that right now. Look at the fight. It's been taken back to them. Future's still trying to catch up. If Watson gets a shield bash on towards anyone, they're probably dead. Everything down at this point in time. Syncrotion doesn't spot out Snaz. Snaz cancels the base.
For the Eagles rally right now as Watson engages on KG with Hydra here. Here's Syncrotion, misses the snare, but there's the Eagles rally on top of Hydra, and Future back to the future for PDG Hydra. Where is Michael J. Fox after that play? As we see Mortality with the big turn, they're going to go for Fire Giant right now.
This is super risky. This is super risky. Look at Watson's health bar. He's the crucial one that needs to get on towards either Dobson or Jeron, and rightly so. They need to disengage right now. Syncrotion, yeah, he's got damage. He's doing okay, but his sustain isn't huge, and he was already at half health. They needed too many members there to focus on the Fire Giant that they couldn't have zoned out successfully, and that's why they disengaged. Really nice call coming through from Paradigm.
Interesting to look at player damage again. Future on top of Gold Fury. That might be free here.
It's free.
As Paradigm has no idea that they're doing it. But they're going to disengage.
It's not Paradigm's Gold Fury. It's not Paradigm's Gold Fury at this point in time. It's too far away from the safety net of those 3 tier 2 towers. Give it up.
And if we look at player damage now, Watson has cemented himself in the lead with that huge jump. And we're going to see Paradigm rotating around Fire Giant, looking to maintain ward control as Watson, Zenborn, and Syncrotion make their way over there to continue the ward battle.
Interesting to see how this one goes. Have a look at the support levels coming through at this point in time, both on level 16, but if you have a look at the rest of the levels from Mortality, they're all level 20. Only one level behind, at least, from Paradigm. That's fantastic. Ymir is really... Ymir is hitting straps. Tankiest god in the game right now. Blink into the Cataclysm, looking at Jeron. He even gets the beads through the Neath ultimate as well. So that is 2 ultimates burn and no kill picked up. But it is his beads down and the ultimate of Jeron as well. Those are on cooldown. This could spell a Fire Giant, but they've got to be very careful about how they initiate
it. The 3-man rotation coming in on Future here right now. It looks like he doesn't even know. Here's the Frost Breath and the Glacial Spike on top of him. And there is the ultimate as he's going to go back right into danger. Zenborn and Watson are here to help us. We see the Eagles rally down on Geron and the little monster. Hydra going to pick up the kill on Future. They put Watson in the Ring of Spears, but is that going to be what they want as he's doing tons of damage? And he is barely going to get out there as Kizao comes in with the Pillars of Agony, and he is doing tons of damage.
Yeah, a lot of damage, but look at both players that are down for both sides. It's the Hunter players. It's their sustained damage source. Mortality wins right now. They've got Syncrotion, but It's only a Scylla on the opposite side of things. They get the pluck off on towards Keyzao and burst out, and rightly so. No real big major magic resistance items coming through, and that means the disengage. Gold Fury still on the map here as well, so Paradigm could get themselves that one. Great Spirit Arrow to disengage continuously from Syncrotion.
Gold difference at a standstill as we continue to watch this game. Hydra in with the double Frost Breath as Zenborn gets dived on with the Bird Bombs and the Crush on top of him. He is still alive as Watson is on top of Snaz. Snaz with the Ring of Spears up again. Zenborn getting melted. Dobson picking up the kill there. Watson on the run. He's going to get the lead. And once again, a Syncrotion puts down tons of damage on Dobson and Hydra, and they're going to have to get out. They may not be able to take the tower.
Syncrotion still trying to run away here. KG's in the front line. Great crush. Some damage on Syncrotion. If he gets plucked there, he's totally dead. But Future's back alive here. The disengage has got to be crucial here for Paradigm. They can't lose any more members than what they already have, because if they do, they're potentially throwing away a Fire Giant. Future looking at him. He's really after Dobson. Can't secure anything. Spirit Arrow down on the KG. Can't get the stun off into the wall. Future, great beads coming through from him. It's going to be a disengage. Both teams are going to lose one member, but it's going to be Mortality that lose the second.
And that was a big time for Paradigm. The goal difference still pretty much the same as this game progresses. Paradigm digging themselves out by 1,000, but they're still 3,300 in favor of Mortality, which is not a full item per player. Let's just put it that way. This is not out of reach for Paradigm right now.
Yeah, and look at the composition. Neith is well past her use-by date at this point in time. She's not going to be doing the most damage out of everyone on the field. It should be Freya. She will have the most sustained damage, but also look at where Watson is. This Bellona pick is so crucial in the game right now. And look at the itemizations that's online for it as well. Chin Size, a lot of damage. Frostbound Hammer, a lot of damage. And sticking to targets. Executioner, Itchaval, full build Bellona, 7, 2, and 6. Watson has been totally crucial to his team's performance this game.
Watson, however, not placing down one ward this game. It's interesting to note if we look at the ward placement, Zenborn with 15, to Snaz's 12, Keyzao with 12, and KG with 10, 8 in Syncrotion, and the opposite with Dobson in the lane, 8 in the Ymir jungle with Hydra, and 7 and 4 coming out of the dual lane for both carries.
Interesting to see that one coming through. Look at the gold starting to come online. 15k on the jungle and solo side of things through from Mortality. Both Watson and Keyzao, a lot of gold online for them. They're both sort of starting to round out. Keyzao's very close. Interesting to see what he goes for his last item. I'm kind of picking Gem of Isolation. He does need Pen, yes, but Gem of Isolation, what it's doing is it's making him both tanky and still do more damage. That's why he potentially wants it. Mage's fantastic, obviously, ramps up that damage, but it doesn't offer the tanky stats. It's looking solely based at damage, and Keyzao's in a really weird spot with this build, where he kind of doesn't do huge amounts of damage because of the lack of Pen, and he kind of doesn't offer a huge amount of CC as well.
Yeah, Keyzao right now, it's really the choice between if he wants to do tons of damage, or if he wants to just provide lockdown for his team to allow Future and Syncrotion to get in there and clean up these team fights and just lay down tons of damage with that double carry comp that they have going right now.
The important part about this next fight that comes out as well is it's whoever gets the cleanest initiation. Both comps, Mortality's slowly falling off because they're hitting their full item spikes and whatnot, as we do see Watson obviously on the Gold Fury. The experience for that, for his support in Zenborn, is going to be huge. But look at the Fire Giant side of things as well. Geron's over there. They might start DPSing it here if they're not careful. Gonna look for an engage instead, and it's gonna be, if they do find a clean engage, it's gonna be a 3v5 at this point in time, because look at the grouping and able to successfully get the tower. The kills Ravage, they're just about level.
They're just about level is right. We're seeing a close game as this goes on. As we see Keyzao on the back line with the Pillar of Agony. Dobson being forced out of the fight. Here is Snaz on the run right now at half health as Keyzao bullies him once again. No Pen though. He is going to be limited in what he can actually provide.
Geron's in trouble. He did get dumped on with the Eagles rally. Watson's trying to chase. Great pluck back. That was insane coming through. The Hercules, insane play. Dobson's in trouble. Look at Syncrotion's damage. Managed to get so much off right now, but look at in the middle of the fight. Mortality have got the member up, and they're doing a little bit better at this stage. Bellona's still trying to get back on towards Geron. Paradigm are so split. They're remnants of a fight. Snaz couldn't engage because he got poked out, and they split up so So terribly right there. That was just poor calling coming through from around the map, and poor splitting from the side of Paradigm, and great calls to engage coming through from
And
Mortality.
we are likely to see the Fire Giant go here now with the experience of Mortality. They know that they had to go back after that. They were hiding under the safety of the Tier 2 tower. Hydra not even getting back long enough to heal back to full health. He is at half as Keys Out is zoning them out. Look at that damage on Fire Giant as KG makes his way in. Be interesting to see how this turns as Mortality disengages. They're getting ready for a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. As this DPS starts to come down as well. Pillar of Agony is in such a crucial spot. Cataclysm as well. They can't get in. Snaz is the first one to fall. They're going to trade it back for Keyzow. But if KG falls here, Blink Freeze, that's fantastic. The Shards of Ice is in a really, really good spot. But Ravage, they can't do it. They can't do it. It's Mortality that come out on top.
Mortality just showing extreme discipline as they take the 5v3 battle there, forcing out Jiran early in the fight and bringing KG down, the tanky disruptor who has been dislodging their teammates from the fight over and over and over again. We're going to see Dobson getting put on here with the double. We almost seen 2 stuns go on top of Dobson there with the beads to get to safety.
Yeah, great beads coming through there. Really, really good job from the side of Dobson. Now it's down to Paradigm. Can they not lose the Phoenix? Can they not lose the Phoenix? What's your call? You know the Mortality boys a lot better than I do here, Ravage. What's their call? Which Phoenix do they want to take here?
They're taking the mid Phoenix. I'm going to tell you that now. They're going to push a team fight and do a ton of damage. They're going to wait for that opportunity to push them back and make them vulnerable. And they're going to make them run back on their heels and put just enough pressure to take down that mid tier 2 and that mid Phoenix. And that is going to be their play. That's how Mortality plays. They love that mid lane push. That's what they look for, that big team fight. It doesn't have to be a death. There doesn't have to be a death on the side of Paradigm, but they just want to see them weak. And once they do that, they're going to use the power from Neath and Kronos to burn that tower down.
Yeah, and something I'd like to point out that backs up that as a good call. Yeah, most players are thinking, all right, left-hand side of the map, that's generally where you see people going because it's furthest from the Fire Giant. Mid lane's the shortest lane. If you want Fire minions to put the most pressure down in any lane, you go down mid lane. Why? Shortest lane, they get through there quicker. They cluster up a lot quicker as well, so they're more of a threat. But if you want to pressure Fire Giant, that's when you go left-hand lane. Right-hand lane
Look for the pressure now, Ranconius, as they have seen their opportunity, and they are going to chew down that tier 2 and look for the heavy engage here to try and push the Phoenix. And we're going to see the Pillar of Agony come out here, and KG and Snaz getting melted as Watson picks up the kill on KG. Watson in deep with the Eagles rally. Dobson having to retreat out. There's a little monster just for the escape. Snaz at half health now, and we're going to see the Phoenix go down just as I called it. We're going to see an end from Mortality.
Important part there was even though that KG come through and initiated fantastically, there's going to be a fight in the Titan though. They might be able to turn this one around. Titan is dropping 25% health and falling. It's down to 10%. They're going to pick up Snaz. Then they pick up the Titan. Great job coming through there from Mortality, walking away with game 1. I was just about to mention, even though KG got the perfect initiate and he was doing the right thing for his team, Snaz not able to do anything. And more importantly than that, Jiran and Dobson were always in a position where they were under pressure and not able to put out really nice high sustained damage. Syncrocian and his partner in crime in Future, always in the right spots, and Watson was just on pressure.
That was a huge game, back and forth, Paradigm trying to find the rhythm at places, and they were almost there at times where it looked like they were showing these flashes of brilliance. That Fire Giant, I think, was the game changer. I think that is where it went downhill for Paradigm. When they went on that Fire Giant and Watson just disrupted their time and space and they had to go back. And that right there, I think, is the little straw that broke the camel's back for Paradigm in that game.
And understanding as well from the side of Mortality that the previous Fire Giant attempt that they did start off the forcing Paradigm off, they couldn't do. Realization that like, all right, no, we're half health. Watson was half. Watson was the crucial player, 11-2-9 from that game. And crucially, he was half health. They peel off it. Next fight, what happens? Paradigm overpush their welcome. They were doing exceptionally well. They were in a really, really nice spot. Snaz needs to find himself a way to initiate properly that time, though. That was the big turning point, was that he was never in the right spot, and never initiating correctly for his team in the latter stages of the game. We've seen it in the Australian OPL, on the PC sort of side of things. Scylla Odin, very favored composition, coming through from the side of Invidious are the guys that like to run that one. And their solo laner is the one that plays Odin and initiates absolutely fantastically. That's what needed to happen with that composition.
It was interesting to see Kiza with the 22,000 damage dropped in that game, with 32,000 taken, 23,000 mitigated, being a huge tank in those team fights. And he paid for it in his deaths, but he was able to allow the Mortality's carries, Kronos and Neath, to do the damage they needed to win those team fights.
Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think Ravage is on it. Ravage is all over our product. He's ravagingly handsome as well, and as well as ravaging your screens with such great production. But
I
Ravage,
wouldn't go that far, Rankin.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, it was a good first match already. We are improving on the cast from yesterday. And I'm just seeing some chat there. TV, that is my bad. I misunderstood. I will make a Twitter post in a bit and just say that I was wrong about what DM said. I thought he was calling top 3 seed in NA, one of the top 3 teams. So my apologies. But I do agree. In the NA scene right now, there's a bunch of teams that it could go either way. And a lot of these things, Mortality having trouble cleaning up a lot of their victories right now, but able to really push a lot of the teams, the top tier teams. But, you know, there are about 6 or 7 that are really close right now, in my opinion. And that NA scene, when we get to the actual lands, I think that's where you're going to see some changes happen. That's where you're going to see a little bit of gaps.
Yeah, and importantly as well, especially for an Xbox scene, and we mentioned like the activity of Xbox players more so than PC players at a LAN. LAN events change who's strong. When you're surrounded by a crowd and the pressure's on, some players perform better. Some players absolutely thrive in that environment, and online they don't play anywhere near as well. And some players are the total reverse. They're perfectly comfortable playing at home in a quiet little room, and that's what they like. As soon as you get them out into LAN, they're all over the place. Their hearts are pounding, the crowd is thumping through in their headsets, and that's what can throw a player off. Teams that are good online, well, we'll have to see if they can get to the LAN.
Right, it's going to be, I think the NA scene is probably going to be one of the most exciting to watch as we near the end of the MLG Pro Points battle and we look for the top 16 and the push for New Orleans, as well as the UMG spot. We have 2 different leagues that have access to 2 different qualifier spots. It's going to be really interesting to see. There's about 6 or 7, I'd say that... No, Echoes, your team is definitely in the top 6 or 7 that I'm talking about for sure. We're looking at, like, when I'm talking about top 6 or 7, I'm talking about Aware, Juice, Epsilon, Elevate, Eager. So where are we at? We're at 5 there now. Is that 5?
And
what I just counted?
The other thing that you have to keep in mind is that the Xbox scene has just been launched. When a scene is as young as this is, obviously the PC scene has a little bit more time to settle down and whatnot. You are going to have players changing rosters. You're going to have players playing together that they've never played together before, and they're going to go, all right, I can handle it for a month, but 3 months down the track, I've had enough, I want to go to a different team. And that happens. That is just naturally going to be happening, okay?
And that's good for the scene. That's when you've seen the scene start to branch out. You get those huge teams that are just slamming everyone. Then you see a couple members go here and there, and then they form a team, and then someone else forms a team. That experience is spread out, and that's how you see the esports scene and the competition grow. So we may not see, we're going to see a big push right now. We might not see all these teams make it to the qualifiers in New Orleans or anything like that, just because the way the pro points are seeded right now. But as we go into the next season for Xbox, and this, I think we're going to blow up because there's a lot of teams coming out here now, and I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah, and it's not just that, it's also where do we go next season. We talked earlier before, obviously we had a large amount of these viewers that are here now. Call of Duty is your major shooter on the console, and it's moving from Xbox over to PlayStation for their next season. More than likely. It is basically almost confirmed. It's not 100% just yet. So you can have a lot of players coming through from the Call of Duty scene. There are players on PC that have come through from the Counter-Strike scene. I believe, was Zapman a Counter-Strike player, I think?
I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you, but that doesn't sound wrong to me. Let's just put it that way.
There's somebody in the NA Pro League that I know is a Counter-Strike player, and that I heard it, and because I'm Australian and I watch things at really, really odd times, I can't recall exactly. But that sort of stuff will start to influence and infiltrate the scene. And when those players get online with item builds, with the meta, with where you should be or what times, it's a huge learning curve for them, and they will get there. Yes, the chat's starting to obviously recognize that Halo is going to be a big game, obviously with Halo 5. Is it Halo 5? Halo 6? Halo 5. Launching this year, and esports going that way. Yeah, some
It's
players are going
yet
to
to
fall
be
back into
seen though
Halo.
until we see the release of Halo 5. It's going to be hard to
Yeah.
tell how competitive that's going to be. You may just see the remastered Master Chief edition that might just take over that comp scene. That's possible to happen as well. You know, there's a lot of interesting things coming out in Xbox right now. The Gears of War being remastered, reviving the competitive scene there as well, right? So you're going to see the favoritism to those old school games, because that's just the way. When you get into those type of games, that's the way the player base just kind of they kind of draw back to the old style of those games, the classics. So if you get those remastered, those HD remasters, I think that's where you might see some of the competitive scene congregate on Xbox right now.
Yeah, and it's you know, especially with just how much everything's in flow, you're never gonna have a console scene set down until about February next year. Just generally, I think the nationals for Australia for Call of Duty scenes, I think about January, February, maybe March is about latest. After that is when you'll see the scene start to settle down, where players will go, all right, I'm done with Call of Duty, I'm going to shift to Smite, and that's when they're going to be comfortable, right? You know, until that point, they're going to be like, I'm half committed to either, I'm not really all that good at either, and then they'll make a decision whether they're still enjoying one game or the other. Anyway, I think it's time we probably cut to a break because. I'm sure you guys have heard us prattle on a little bit long about this, and we'll come back with another game, yeah, Ravage?
Yeah, roger that. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to get some water, and we will be right back as the EU teams are getting into lobby right now, getting ready for picks and ban stages. Thanks so much for watching thus far. We have at least one more game to go, hopefully two, as this has been a hard-fought game so far.